Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back! And I'm back! Of course I'm back! Yakety yak! And don't talk back. Of course I'm back, I'm not going anywhere. Beast! I'm YouTube. This is a mess. I'm YouTube. Famous now. Available in 2021, the album. Dad. AF. Hey little thing, let me light your candle cause I'm a who? Gargoyles. Ouija boards. She's not a Christian. No, Tati, no. Beast. Say all of my sayings that I said for years and years and years. Anyway, hi, how are you doing today? Let me just tell you, I am in such a good mood, okay? I'll tell you why. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Okay, first of all, I got the candles lit all over the house, okay? Did you see my new candle haul that I did over on my Peter Does Stuff channel? I just want to say thank you so much for the support on my other channels. I get messages on a regular basis where people are like, I found you from the drama, but like, now I'm staying over here at the review channel. Or, I found you from your drama videos on such and such person, Gabby Hanna, but now I love your Peterisms. I watch them every day and they help me get centered. And I'm like, oh my God, this makes me so happy. So anyway, thank you guys so much for all the support on my other channels. If you didn't know, I have a vlog channel. I vlog every single day. People say it's like a podcast. I drive around for an hour. I also vlog while I'm on vacation. I have vlogged every single day for the last 5 years, with the exception of 1 week that I took off when my dog passed away. So I'm like very proud of that channel. I love that channel and I love the community over there. And it's just such a fun channel. I also have a Peterisms channel where I read meditations. I share mistakes in my life that I've made, things I've learned from them, and today's was really, really good. I just finished it. And then I also do reviews. Today I reviewed a frozen pizza, and I do a lot of food reviews, Starbucks reviews, stuff like that. I also have a BookTube channel, and with the BookTube channel, I have 2 book clubs. I have a true crime book club that I run with my good Judy Mel. Hey Mel, how are you? And the book for September is The House of Gucci, which is being made into a movie with Lady Gaga, or it's been made into a movie with Lady Gaga. It comes out in November. And then I also have Peter's Book Club, which I post on like Instagram, and I do a video about it on my BookTube channel. And the book for September is If the Shoe Fits by Julie Murphy. I just finished the August book for Peter's Book Club, which was Falling by TJ Newman. You guys, if I have to make 2 recommendations to you, let me just tell you, okay? Well, 3 recommendations. First of all, the book, if you want to like be entertained for a little while, I've got some suggestions for you. Okay, the book Falling by TJ Newman, which I'm sure will be made into a movie, was absolutely fantastic. 5 stars, had me ugly crying, thriller, it was unbelievable. That's number 1. Number 2, per everybody's suggestions on Twitter that kept on tagging me in this, I started last night watching the new show on Hulu. I think there's only 3 episodes out, and it's with Steve Martin and, oh, why can't I never think of his name? Oh, Martin, why can't I think of his name? And Selena Gomez. And it's written by Steve Martin and Martin, not Martin Scorsese, Martin Short, is that his name? Anyway, and it's called Only Murders in the Building. You guys, it is so fantastic. And it's about these 3 people that live in this like building in New York City, and they're obsessed with true crime, and then a murder happens in their building. Okay, so that's the second recommendation. It's so good, you guys. The third recommendation is that I've been a murderino for a long time, and if you don't know what a murderino is, that's somebody that listens to My Favorite Murder. I love that show. I've listened to it a long time. But I'm obsessed with true crime documentary series, okay? Like The Keepers, like the one with the, I almost gave it away if you watch it. What's it called? The Staircase, Making of a Murderer, you know, Brendan Dassey. He couldn't have done, you know, all that. I love that Kathleen Zelder so much. Oh my God, I love her. But anyway, I'm obsessed. I just finished watching Relentless on, I think it was on HBO Max or Hell in the Heartland. The one that was with Jax Miller. She wrote the book, and I'm a good Judy of Jax Miller now because she came into our live stream when we discussed. See, you never know who's going to pop in for the True Crime Book Club. You don't. And the author came in. Wasn't that so exciting? But anyway, so now she's one of my good Judies. I love you, Jax Miller. But anyway, Hell in the Heartland on HBO Max. Fantastic. I love those true crime series, right? And I just finished watching Relentless. I think it was on Amazon Prime. Oh, no. It was on Discovery Plus because I had to download that. I got cable and I got 50 other streaming. I can watch any show in the entire world that I want to watch at this point, okay? I got VPNs. I got all that. I can watch it wherever I want to watch it, whenever I watch it, however I want to watch it. So anyway, I'm like wanting, because I started watching this show on the Hulu, you know? So I'm like, well, I want to start watching, I want to start listening to true crime podcast series, right? So I Google it last night, and it doesn't really come up with a lot of series because I wanted to listen to one like they're listening to in the show, you know, where it's like every week there's more to it. So I found this one I think it's called Tom Brown's Body. Have you guys listened to this? I drove around last night, I swear to God, for 4 hours. And well, I'm also listening to Paula Hawkins' new book. I think it's called A Slow Burn or something. But anyway, it got real good last night too. But for 4 hours, I drove around and I listened to this podcast last night about this poor guy that got murdered in Texas, in Canadian Texas. You guys, it is so well done. So if you have any like series, okay? I don't want where every episode, my favorite murder, I already listened to that, where every episode is something different. I want one where it's like the whole season is about things, right? Now, I will tell you, I wrote down last night in my deep I do research sometimes. I do, okay? My deep investigations, I wrote down these 11 true crime podcasts to listen to. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. The Orange Tree, Counterclock, Culpable, Paper Ghosts, Case File, Up and Vanish, Serial, Suspect, In the Dark, Bear Brook, and The Clearing. So, if you have other suggestions than that, please let me know. All right, now let's get into the video at 7 minutes. If you timestamp this video, you're a fool, okay? You are a fool. There are some people out there, they get so mad. They timestamp my video. I mean, like, everybody timestamps my videos, right? I think people think I care more about it than I really do. But what cracks me up about it, here, you want to know a little secret? This is like Shane Dawson selling merch. Do you want a little secret? I'll tell you a little secret, okay? Are the people that I know don't like me, and so they come over and they timestamp my videos, and then I delete them. Not all of them. I always leave a couple in there just for the people, you know. But like, that's the only, people are like, you delete comments over here. No, I don't. Every once in a while, I'll go in and I'll delete a timestamp just to piss the person off. But listen, that's the only time I do it. If I'm like wanting to have a little extra fun for the day, you know what I mean? You gotta throw a little shade every once in a while, okay? Listen, if you're so serious that you're coming over to my videos and you're timestamping it because you ain't got enough time in the day to listen to this old fool talk, you found the wrong drama channel. I'm telling you right now, okay? But listen, I don't care. If you want to fast forward to whatever the timestamp is, go. Hell, I'll start timestamping my own damn videos. The problem is I don't know when I really get into the drama, because half the time I think I'm talking about the drama and I'm still talking about a song by, you know, Journey or Foreigner from 1984 or something like that. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of the drama, but it's not. So anyway, okay? I needed to do a cathartic cleanse. So, should I say it again? I needed to do a cathartic cleanse, okay? I needed to sage the drama of Peter Monn's channel over here a little bit. Woo, Lord knows I did, okay? Like, listen, no more Ouija boards, gargoyles. No, Tati, no. I needed to do a cleanse over here. So I was like, well, let's just do a good old Q&A. And then y'all asked me some of the most hateful questions in the world. You asked me questions about people that I don't even know who they are, okay? You're like, what do you think about this and this and this? And I'm like, I don't even know who that person is. Should I look into it? Is there drama there? I didn't even know. So I didn't read all of the questions because I have to tell you guys, I started screenshotting the questions and then I was like counting and I was like, when I got to like 400 questions, I was like, okay, I can't keep up with this. Just so you know, like, you know how you can go into Instagram and you can see like how many people looked at your story? Oh, hold on a second. I'm gonna have to go in this way. Okay, because somebody just asked a question. I'm gonna find it all out from unsolicited advice asked, Kindles versus everything else. I'll tell you my answer to that in just a second. But I have to go in here and you guys, I literally there were like, there was like 10,490 people that looked at my story. That's a lot for my little Instagram, okay? I was like, oh my God. So Kindles versus, so I went in and I screenshot all the questions and the answers because it's now like gone, right? So on there I asked, hold on a second. Oh shoot. I said, how about a random opinions video? And then people can just put their answers below. Here it is. Okay, let's get it. Okay, here we go. Kindles versus everything else. I don't read on my Kindle. My good Judy, she reads on her Kindle. That's like exclusively like big hardbacks or in Kindle. That's all she reads on. I'm audiobooks or paperbacks all the way. That's for me. Back in the day, I used to be like, oh, you don't bend pages. You know, you treat books very, very nice. And then let me tell you what happened. I went to Cancun a couple years ago and I read Big Little Lies by the pool. I don't have a book with me to demonstrate, but I literally pulled the cover around and I was like, I tore through that book. Pages were coming out. There was water from the pool all over it. And I loved that book so much. Like, I literally felt like I had lived that book. Did I say pool? I did love that pool too. But I felt like I had lived that book by the time that I was done reading it. And at that point, like, my whole attitude towards, like, books changed. And yes, books are our friends, but I think books are also to be read and dog-eared and underlined and highlighted and all that stuff. And so I do all that today, right? So that's where my opinion kind of changed about that. Okay, let's get into these questions on top of that. Okay, a lot of people ask me about this Anna Campbell thing. You guys, I don't really know a whole lot about that at all. So I guess I need to look into that a little bit. Spit or swallow. Somebody asked me, who asked me this. If you're going to ask a question like that, you're going to get called out, okay? So the sass asked, well, I guess you are awfully sassy. The answer to that is that I'm a married man, so I'll do what I want to do. You know? Truth be told, some days, you know, some days you feel like a nut, some days you don't. Anyway, I don't know, you know. You do what you want on whatever day you do it, you know. Okay, let's see. Lane Kroll said the glorification of cannabis by YouTubers. Thoughts? Gateway drug. Can we get a houseplant video? Yes, there's my houseplants right there. A couple of them are being watered right now. Okay, here's how I think about the whole pot smoking thing. Do you, okay? Do you with the pot smoking thing. But when it's like all you show, like, okay, people are like, well, it's just pot, it's just whatever. Now, y'all know I've been sober for 26 and a half years, okay? That being said, I am strongly for the decriminalization of marijuana, okay? We have got to get it to be federal, okay? We have to get people stop being incarcerated for failed drug screens, you know, that because they're on probation. In the state of Indiana, the recidivism rate of mothers going back to prison is like 80% on failed drug screens for marijuana, okay? Which means then you have all of these kids that are in the foster care system that aren't with their mothers. It's just on and on and on, okay? There's no reason why we should be paying these high fees statewide to like incarcerate these people for marijuana. It's ridiculous when you can go to the state next door and it's not illegal at all, right? So I don't know, it has to be mandated on some kind of federal law. I have no issue with it. What I feel like when you're a YouTuber, okay, is when you're showing it all the time, and that's like who you've become, like that's become a part of your personality, my suggestion to you would be just take a look at that, right? Like if you saw somebody that literally in every video they did, they were sitting there with a bottle of vodka, and yes, it is similar to me, okay? But if in every video they were sitting there with a bottle of vodka and they were chugging from this bottle of vodka while they were doing whatever they were doing, I think people would have questions. I think people would say, I'm a little concerned about the fact that you're always chugging from a bottle of vodka, right? So the fact that people don't have the same issues, it's like, it's almost kind of like, as a person that's 49 years old, like that would have flown more back in the day. I mean, like chugging from a bottle of vodka was more like, you know, sex, drugs, and rock and roll back in the day than sitting there smoking some weed was kind of weak. You know what I mean? And so it seems very much to me, now don't get me wrong, I love smoking weed, okay? I mean, I got my own personal story about going into treatment, and my counselor looked at me and she said, are you going to talk about your smoking weed problem? And I said, oh, I'm not here for all that. She said, what do you mean? She goes, how much pot do you smoke a day? And I said, I mean, it's not a jointless, it's as thick as my thumb. And she said, how much pot do you smoke a day? And I said, I don't know, back in the day we didn't do grams, you know? And I said, I don't know, like, like everybody else, like a quarter or a half ounce a day, you know, or something like that. She looked at me like I was crazy. I said, I'm not here. I'm not stopping smoking pot, you know. And she said, well, you can leave group, and when you're ready to come back and start talking about your pot problem. I was like, did she really just kick me out of here for smoking pot? Like, everybody smokes pot. And what I learned is that everybody doesn't smoke pot. You know what I mean? And what I learned is that this one right here, I can't smoke pot. I love it too much. And I smoke and I smoke and I smoke. And I've talked about this at just nauseum on my vlog channel, you know? That back in the day, I mean, I haven't smoked it in 26 years plus at this point. I haven't smoked it since the day I got sober, which was December 17th of 1994. But what I realized was that when I smoked pot, like, for me, this addict, all I can speak about is this addict. People want to ask me about California sober and this and that. All I can talk about is this addict alcoholic right here, right? And this addict alcoholic is the type that works the 12-step program, and that is the only thing that has ever worked for me. I have tried different ways before, and it didn't work for me. And this is one of the things I know, okay, is that the second that alcohol touches my lips, or whatever, a pill, or, you know, smoking weed, or whatever, it's not so much the physical cravings that are gonna kick in, okay? It's the mental obsession that's gonna kick in. And the mental obsession is gonna say, you just ruined 26 and a half years of sobriety. You better go and get what you want. And what I want, okay, is not a hit off a joint. It just isn't, okay? I'm sorry. I'm glad that y'all love it out there, but that ain't what this one wants, okay? I wanna be so wasted that I can't think. And that's why I have to stay doing what I'm doing today, you know? That's why it means so much to me when addicts and alcoholics reach out to me and they say, you know, like, you know, somebody just reached, I have all these screenshots, I'll have to do it tomorrow. That's why it means so much to me when people are like, you know, like, oh, I have, you know, this many years sober today, or I have this many years sober. I mean, I just love that. I think it's the coolest thing in the entire world, you know? Okay, so I have a couple shout outs I want to give. The first one is to Shelly. Shelly said, Peter, I love you so much. I love you too, Shelly. Can you please give me a birthday shout out? My birthday is on the 29th of September. Girl, you got early. You better watch this video, because if you ever ask for another shout out before the 29th, I'm gonna be like, girl, you didn't even watch my video. Okay. So Sleep said, is there a name attached to this, or is it just Sleep? Okay, Sleepwalking said, hey Peter, oh, it's Taylor, hey Taylor, my birthday is on the 5th, and I would really like a birthday shout out. I've been a follower for 3 years, and I love all your channels. You're the best person in my life. Oh my God, Taylor, happy birthday. Okay, and then I took a picture of mine. Listen. Have you been following my HOA stuff? Okay, well, my neighbors, I can't really show you, but, because they're, okay. My neighbors across the street, their carriage lights were out. We've been having, listen, there's some scary stuff going on in this neighborhood, okay? So I took that picture the other night when I took my dogs out, because I was like, oh, no, they need to get the carriage lights fixed. So listen, they called the HOA president, and they got right on that. I've become that neighbor, okay? Hold on a second. Okay, Catherine said, and I forgot to mention my birthday is today, the 4th. I'm 44, and I like to kick. Happy birthday, Catherine. I hope you have the greatest day ever. Okay, and then Skylar said, hi, Peter. This might sound silly, but I was wondering if I could have a belated birthday shout out. My 28th birthday was August 31st. But I was traveling to help my mom, who is really sick. I've been waiting all year to ask, and I hope it's not too late. Love you. Happy birthday, Skylar. I hope that you had the most amazing birthday, and I hope that your mom is feeling better. And I think that's it. Okay. Let's see. Oh, wait. And then Heather, I want to give a shout out to Heather, who has been so supportive of me. She's so awesome. And actually, her birthday is today. And she said, my birthday is September 6th, and it would mean the world if you could do a shout out for me and mention me. She has been awesome. So happy birthday, Heather, to you. And hold on a second. Lisa said, can I get a birthday shout out? It's today. And that was like yesterday. So happy birthday to Lisa yesterday. And then did I have one more? Hold on a second. No, that was it. Okay. So let's get back into the questions. I spit or swallow, or answer that one. Okay. Let's see. Love you, Peter. You are the light of my days. You've gotten, aw, thank you so much. That was so sweet. Do you wish that you had children so you could have grandchildren? That's interesting. People usually ask me if I want to have kids, and I have said no to that question. I don't know. You know, listen. I thought a lot about that decision, you know? And the decision, not about grandchildren, but the decision for me was that, like, I want to be able to go out late at night and listen to an audiobook, or go to Walmart with my good Judy, or, you know, travel. I mean, we travel a lot. And it's not that I wouldn't do that, and it's not that I look down on people that do. But for me, if that was the decision that I made to have kids, then I would be like, I mean, that would be everything for me. It would be like the neighborhood that I lived in. And I know that I would become that parent. I know that about myself, that it would be about, you know, sporting events and art classes and the right schools and all that stuff. And that just was not the life that I wanted. That just was not what I felt in my heart and soul. And it was something that I really asked myself for many years, because there was a point that I really did think that that was what I wanted. You know, I just realized that's not who I am. That's not important to me. And I have, unfortunately, witnessed a lot of people in this world that maybe wasn't the choice that they wanted either, and they did it anyway, and they seemed resentful about it. And I didn't want to look back on my life and think, you know, like, I didn't want to be resentful about the choices that I made. And so I really thought it through, you know. My mother was somebody also that really talked to me about it. She was like, you know, if you're really going to be a parent and a good parent, you know, like, and this is somebody that was also an active alcoholic and felt super guilty about it later in life. You know, she'd say, it has to be your everything. You know, my dad, I just talked about this on my vlog the other night. My dad is somebody that, like, I mean, he left the house at like 5 o'clock in the morning. He didn't come home until 8 o'clock at night. You know, my dad was a chief of staff for 30 some years, you know. He was, or I don't know how many years, but whatever, but sat on state medical boards and whatever, you know, and just recently retired. He would, like, reschedule state board meetings so that he could come to, like, my choir concerts and stuff like that. That was not the life that I wanted to live. So that was why I decided that that wasn't for me. And I haven't regretted that, you know. At times it's been like, okay, well, who do I give this to, or who do I give that away to? But, you know, in the end, what I've really realized is it's just stuff, and it just doesn't really matter. You know, it really doesn't. I've really learned that, you know, that all of this stuff is just stuff. It doesn't matter, you know. The stories are what's important for me to pass down. And in all honesty, if I had to say if somebody said, what is your legacy? I would say my vlog. My vlog is my legacy. I have shared so much of my life over on that vlog, so much of my stories of my youth, stories of my childhood. The people that follow that vlog are very, very special to me, you know. I know most of them by name when I see their comments, you know. I know that there are a lot of people that don't comment, that have, you know, emailed me and sent me messages and say, I never comment, but I want you to know I've never missed a vlog. That vlog to me is kind of like, you know, a child to some degree. And I love that. I love that channel over there. So thank you for that question. Okay. Do you think, oh shoot, okay. Do you think every great book should get a shot at a movie, or are some better left alone? Definitely some are better left alone. Paperback versus hardcover, paperback. Manny and Laura's new podcast, hi, from Ireland, said Leanne. I like their new podcast. I think it's pretty good. I will say this, like, the first podcast I thought was really good. They went out of the gate, they talked about, you know, Dramageddon, and I think they did that to get, like, a lot of, like, people kind of, like, interested in it, maybe, and stuff. I thought the way they did it was very classy. That being said, I've seen them together in TikToks and all this kind of stuff. I wish they were a little bit more relaxed. Like, they almost kind of seemed a little nervous about the podcast. What people love about Laura and Manny's friendship is just their silliness and their goofiness together. And that's what I want to see in the podcast. So, but I love their podcast so far. I thought it was good, the first episode. Out of all the songs that you sing in the intro, which one is your favorite? Okay, like, which one is my favorite to, like listen to in the car, like the real version, and sing? Let's see, probably, I mean, I sing that Stevie Nicks song so much, Rock on Gold. Well, it's not called Rock on Gold, it's called Goldust Woman. Goldust Woman is not my favorite Fleetwood Mac song, first of all, okay? I don't know how I started singing that one. I mean, my favorite Stevie Nicks song ever is Nightbird. My favorite Fleetwood Mac song of life is probably, Stand Back. That's a Stevie Nicks song, though, isn't it? My favorite Fleetwood Mac song is probably Rhiannon. So, I don't know, my favorite song that I sing, probably the Black Crowes song, the Hey Little Thing, Let Me Light Your Candle, 'Cause I'm Mama Who. I don't know why, I just love that song so much. Anyway, but I do have to tell you a funny story, okay? I had a friend of mine back in the day, and she's still to this day like a big pothead. She just is. That's the other thing with like the pot stuff. It's like they don't really ever grow out of it. They just kind of become like old potheads, you know? But my friend back in the day, I'll never forget, she called me, and this was before I got sober, obviously. And she was like, can I stop by? And she was like having a bad day. And she like brought this tin, okay? Like a cookie tin of like, we've all seen it if you're my age, okay? The cookie tin with pot inside of it. She had all that, you know, and like all like, you know, the fixins, you know, the one-hitters and the papers and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So then she brought this Black Crow CD, and I'm like, what? And she's like, whenever I get like real high and I'm emotional, I listen to Black Crows. And I always think of that. I don't know why. Anyway. Okay. Some of these questions. So, Fish Stick said, what brand of underwear do you love and wear the most? Okay. Well, I like boxers for myself, but I have to tell you, I don't often wear underwear, okay? Number one. Number two, my favorite underwear for my husband, I would say is like either Diesel or Poppy underwear. I always buy him Diesel or Poppy underwear because my husband looks good walking around the bedroom in underwear. So, okay, I'm a Cancer. Fish Sticks, awesome. Oh, Fish Sticks, you asked so many questions. Do you ever shop at Home Goods or Marshalls? Yes, I love them. Will you review something that your state or city is known for? Thanks. Oh, I would. That's a good one. I don't know what Indianapolis, well, I mean, what is Indianapolis known for? I gotta think about that. What's your favorite kitchen gadget? My Keurig? Does that count? Okay. Let's see. Would you travel? Okay, this is Christy. So would you travel overseas at some point? And if so, would you do a fan meetup or tour? Yes. I'm so nervous, you guys, about doing a meetup. This is the thing, right? Like, I've seen all these meetups and stuff, and not that it really matters, like if one person showed up. Like, I mean, when people stop me, the other day, I was at the casino and somebody stopped me and she came up to me and she goes, she is so nice. This is actually the second time that she's come up to me. She came up to me a long time ago. And so she came up to me and she goes, Peter, and I go, and I didn't like, you know, I mean, it kind of depends on where I'm at. And I was like, yeah. And she goes, I watch your videos. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And then she was like, I'll leave you alone. And she kind of like walked away, but she was like sitting around the corner from me. And I was kind of like, then I kind of wanted to say something to her. And she was sitting right next to my good Judy, you know? So then when she left, she came over and she goes, I don't want you to feel like I was a stalker or anything. I wasn't like sure if it was you. I was like, don't always come up and say hi. I really appreciate it. But very rarely, and I told her this, I said, nobody ever comes up to me in public and says hi. Like, it happens maybe, like, people must think it, like, happens to YouTubers all the time. I don't know about other YouTubers. It never happens to me, ever. Ever. It never happens to me. So, I'm like, if I do a meetup and, like, 2 people show up, I mean, okay, like, that would be kind of a little embarrassing. Let's just be for real. And I have to tell you, there was, like, I don't know when it was a couple years ago. It was long before I was on YouTube. And there was somebody that I watched, and I loved these people, right? I was like, I can't remember who it was. I want to say it's like this couple, but I don't think it was them. Anyway, they did a meetup, and literally, you guys, like 7 or 8 people showed up, and I was like, what is going on? And I was like so embarrassed kind of for them that like that's why I'm like, it's just that. And it's also, the other thing is like, I have a lot of social anxiety. I know it's hard to believe, but I do. And so for me to like, I don't know what we would do. I'd be like, hey, how are you? Really? You like the Chinese buffet too? Like, I kind of stumble over my words. I'm a very nervous person. I don't know what I would say, you know? Okay, favorite household chore, if any. I love to do the laundry. Okay, let's see. Toilet paper, over or under? Over. And I finally got my husband switched to that. Fall DIY. Well, I like to maybe make a wreath for my front door out there. Let's see. Would you come to the UK? I'm such a big fan, says he. Yeah, I've been to the UK a couple times. I would definitely go back. But I have to be honest, I'm kind of more of a beachy person. Like, I love the beach. Thoughts on what sauce or condiment is best for French fries? Well, that's an easy one for me. It's ranch all the way. What's your opinion on aliens? Do you believe? 100% I believe in aliens. Like 190% I believe in aliens. And yes, I believe that the US government knows about it and they're keeping it from us, and I think it's one of the biggest conspiracies ever. Thoughts on mustard? Do you like it? I do like mustard. I like all kinds of mustard. I like honey mustard, hot mustard, all that kind of stuff. Crocs or no Crocs? That's from Sarah. Crocs. I do like Crocs. I don't know that I'm ready yet to wear Crocs, you know, all year round. I don't love them that much. I'm more of a Birkenstock plastic sandal kind of person. And I'm kind of recently gotten into the slides, the plastic slides, you know. But the Crocs, I did have a pair from last year that that have like the inside, you know, the cozy inside. But then I walked, for my Peter Does Stuff channel, I walked out in the woods in the snow and they got soaking wet and they were like ruined after that. It's gonna stop, hold on. Okay. Do you know it's interesting that like nobody's really asking me about any YouTubers? You know, they're probably like, well, Peter, we already know what you think about all this. Oh, here it is. Why do you think Gabby Hanna hasn't talked about what she was telling you about Shane and others? I don't know. I know she knows what I'm talking about, okay? Because it was a big enough part of the conversation that it wasn't just like in passing. She was really upset with Shane Dawson. Like really upset with him. I sometimes call Shane Dawson Sean Dawson. Anyway, on the phone, she was really upset with him. And the reason that she was upset with him was because he had done a video for Andrew trying to find Andrew a girlfriend when Shane knew, obviously, because he was right there, that Gabby and Andrew dated, okay? And she was like, you don't do that to a friend. Which, no, I agree. I think that's a crap move that Shane did that. All for the views. I mean, that further shows what kind of person Shane Dawson is. Let me get my cameraman a date, okay, at the expense of hurting a friend of mine. Okay, that's another person of who Shane Dawson is, right? So, if that's true. But he did do the video, right? Like, the video is there. So, because I went and looked. And, you know, Gabby Hanna did date Andrew. So, that's there. So, we know that it's fact, right? So, I think it was like, you know where I talk about there's this need that tell on somebody? I think Gabby Hanna is the epitome of wanting to tell on somebody. And so, I think in that moment, she was like, I'm going to tell on Shane. She's either saved that for the end of the series, or I do think that no matter who has distanced themselves from Shane Dawson, I do believe that the majority of YouTube thinks that Shane Dawson's going to come back. I also don't think that they think that a whole lot of what Shane Dawson has done, who cares, whatever. You know, I think they're just kind of like, okay, thank God the spotlight's not on me. And so I think they don't want to, like, you know, upset any certain thing. I think Shane Dawson might have some things on Gabby Hanna, or other people might, and she's afraid to come out against Shane Dawson because then he'll say something. But Shane Dawson's not going to speak out about Gabby Hanna. He doesn't care enough about all that. I mean, he just doesn't really believe that. But that's why I think she hasn't talked about that. Is cereal a soup? Absolutely not. Have you listened to Kat Von D's album? No. Not at all. Sorry. Should I? What's her album? Okay, well, hold on a second. Let me look it up really quick and see. What's it called? Kat. I didn't even know. I knew she was working on a music tour. She lives in Indiana now. Did you know that? Or she has a house here. Okay. Oh, she has a song called I Am Nothing. Oh, I was like, that's Whitney Houston, but that's I Have Nothing. Okay. So here are the songs. Fear You, I Am Nothing, Vanish, Exorcism, Enough, Satellite, Easier Sung Than Sad, Protected, Pretending. Can you listen to any of them yet? Okay, let me listen to 2 seconds of Exorcism. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I mean, it wasn't horrible. I listened to the song Exorcism. I watched some of the video, probably like 3/4 of it. The video is very much like, it's her and this, like, her band or crew of girls. It's kind of like Coven meets, like, that somebody in Babylon, you know, out there in big boots, like in the desert, kicking and fighting. Oh, like a Gabby Hanna video. And it's kind of like a pop version meets, like, her ex-best friend Jeffree Star's music on MySpace days of Susie and the Banshees from back in the day, which was like one of my favorite bands in high school, you know, Jeepers Creepers and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of what it is. Like, if you heard it on the radio, I don't think that you would guess that it's Kat Von D. It's not bad, though. I will say that. It's not bad. It has, interestingly enough, it has She said, thank you for all the love and support. It has 12,000 likes and 1.4 thousand dislikes. 1.2 million views. Someone said, I followed Cat ever since I used to watch LA Inc. and they spelled cat, C-A-T. Meow. That's how close she followed Cat all these years, right? Okay, let's get back to these questions. Okay, please say you got the cake for Peter Does Stuff. I don't even know what that means. Oh, okay. Well, people have been requesting that I do this like frosting and graham cracker cake on my Peter Does Stuff channel, and yes, I am doing that today. So go over and check that out on my Peter Does Stuff channel. Okay. Chocolate or vanilla? Vanilla. Well, chocolate cake. Well, that's, oh, I don't know. I kind of like both, you know? Do you think Trish and Moses will make it to the wedding or break up before then? I think they will make it to the wedding. I don't know why my gut tells me this, but I think that Trisha and Moses, I know that there's all this stuff going on right now, so all that drama aside, and I will be covering it again, I think if you, like, just talking about Trisha and Moses for the moment, I think, you know, this is not me. Somebody commented this on my video and they said, Trisha wants a husband, Moses hates his family or wants to get away from his family or something like that. It's like the perfect match. I don't know about all that, right? But there does seem to be, like, they've been together for a long time, you guys, okay? This is like the longest relationship that Trisha has been in a long time, right? And it seems like the realest relationship that Trisha has been in for a long time, no matter what other people say, you know? So I think it's just going to depend, you know? I can tell you right now, if my husband was sitting here, he'd say, when I first met you, it wasn't true love. It was because I wanted, you know, to have fun and go out on some free meals, you know? And 13 years later, we're still here, you know? And he is the most protective life partner, loving man I've ever had. And I mean, I just, you know, he's my partner and everything. I mean, he always says that. Alex is always like, you're my teammate, you're my partner, you know? That he didn't feel that at the beginning. I mean, you change over time, right? I actually see, I don't know why, and this is not me giving anybody a free pass. This isn't like me liking anybody or not, okay? This is in my gut. Just to show you that it's like not one-sided. I feel that Moses and Trisha are actually going to make it for quite some time. I really do. I also equally think that Rylan and Shane Dawson will be together for a very long time. Like, I think that might be a forever relationship. That's just my 2 cents based on what I see, you know? Like, one of the things that I really appreciate from couples is when you don't see the hi. That is such BS, okay? When you see couples kind of snicker with each other and argue with each other, no, that shouldn't be your love language, but you gotta work through that stuff to get to the point where you're kind of not like, you know what I mean? And I've witnessed that from both couples, and so I think that that's signs that they're probably on the right road, you know? And I wish that for them. I wish that for anybody. I wish that for anybody, you know, that I wish happiness, you know? Okay, let's see. The D'Amelio's Hulu show is actually really good, and I have a newfound respect for them. I haven't watched it, but I will watch it and let you know. Erica Jane and Sutton feud on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Okay, y'all want to get me heated, don't you? Okay, I need a good fan, and I don't even have one for this. Okay. Let me tell you something. Now, I have to tell you, I was a huge Erica Jane fan for a really long time, all right? Now, I know she cannot get on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and tell everything that she knows about her scandalous husband. I understand that, okay? But girl, don't act like you didn't know anything. Like, seriously, don't act like you didn't know anything, okay? Or maybe sign off for the season and say, you know what, I'm in the middle of so much stuff, I can't, because she's always wanting to grab her purse and tear out of somewhere, okay? This is too much for me today. I understand it's too much for you. I can't imagine going through what Erica is going through. And then on a public platform, I really cannot understand it, right? But there is no reason for you to talk down and get your, I cannot stand, listen, you want to keep those fingers, you better get them out of my face, okay? I cannot stand people that want to do this kind of stuff in your face, okay? I cannot stand that. And Sutton sitting there at that dinner table when Erica, and she's like, get your fingers out of my face. I was like, ooh. I don't like the way that Erica talks to Sutton. I just don't. I don't. And I thought Now, I do want to say this. Poor Kathy Hilton. She don't care about all this. She's got more money than God. She just wants to throw a nice dinner party. You know what I mean? There's poor Kathy Hilton sitting there, okay? Her butler, who has a butler these days, okay, is afraid to even serve the food to Erica. And so she's sitting there. She's like, he's even afraid to serve the food, right? And Lisa Rinna is looking for any reason to get into the conversation, and Dorit can't shut her mouth for 2 seconds, right? Kyle's like really the only one that I respect on the show, well, besides Kathy Hilton at this point. And I'm sitting there. I mean, I like Sutton, okay? Well, Garcelle, like, I really respect Garcelle. I think she's fantastic because she says the right thing. She says what we're all thinking, and she keeps it classy. You know what I mean? Okay. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching this show, and poor Kathy Hilton, she just can't, like, for the life of her, understand why these gals want to continue to have this conversation. It's a reality show. You got together for this dinner party. You thought y'all were just going to sit there and compliment each other on your outfits? No, that was the first 2 minutes, okay? But Sutton, of course, she has to start in right away. Well, Erica, this gives us the opportunity. Girl, you're at a dinner party. Call her up on the phone. Send her an email, send her a text, write her a postcard. Why then? Why then? Okay, but the fact that Sutton did that, whatever. She wanted to clear the air and get it all out. And then what does Lisa Rinna always want to play these buffoonery games, right? Well, I think we should play the game where everybody's hurt somebody's feelings, and we should talk about that. No, that's not called a game. That's called therapy, okay? Y'all think I get heated about this drama stuff? I get so, oh, and you know what starts on Sunday, don't you, next week? Is it today? No, it's next Sunday. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I cannot wait. But I'm telling you right now, I understand that Erica's going through a hard time. I do, okay? I wouldn't wish what she's going on my worst enemy in the entire world, all right? Which I don't have any, so I don't have to worry about that. But I wouldn't wish that on anybody, okay? But you don't need to talk to Sutton that way. That's not very nice, okay? And you know what I thought was real funny is I've been called lots of things in my life, okay? I've been called lots of names. But the fact that Sutton was so upset about the fact that Erica called her small town. Girl, she was like, I am not small town. And what was so funny about that is that Erica is small town. Do you remember when Erica used to have money and she went home to her like family's house and she stayed for like the weekend? Remember that? Erica is small town to be calling somebody else small town. These gals crack me up. Anyway, thank you for your question. Who asked this question and got me so heated? I'm going to send you the bill for my heart attack. Valerie Lynn. Okay. Favorite UK drag queen, Lawrence Chaney. I love him. I was so, well, I can't say. Well, I guess I just did. I'm very happy with who won for this year's RuPaul's Drag Race. I will say that. Let's see. Favorite crumble cookie to date. God, that's a hard one. Oh, I don't even know. I don't even. I will say that cookie dough with, and somebody else said this, and I thought this was interesting. The cookie dough cookie had a brown sugar cookie underneath it. I wish they had just put out the brown sugar cookie. I thought that was fantastic. And somebody else commented that on my video. I thought that was interesting. Okay. Cake or pie? Pie. Did you watch the White Lotus? I watched White Lotus, Lotus Hotel. Is that what it's called? I watched the Lotus Hotel. It was sad. It was so sad. Y'all made me watch this. You recommend these shows to me that I think are funny, and then that show was so sad. Oh my God, it was so sad. Okay, more thoughts on Laura, Lee, and Manny MUA. Waffles or pancakes? Waffles all the way. Dr. Pepper, a root beer. Actually, in that order. Dr. Pepper, then root beer, and then Diet Coke. Okay. What do you think went down with Andrew, Shane, and Garrett? Not much. I just think that there was a conversation, and I think it was probably, initiated by Shane, and Shane probably said, I really do believe this. I think Shane probably said, go do your own thing. Hey, listen, I'm not going to be filming videos for a while. You need to make money. You guys do what you're going to do and whatever. Do I think that there might have been some shadiness that was thrown in with all of that? Yeah, I kind of sensed that from, oh, I can't think of his name. I just looked at it. Why can't I think of his name? Hold on a second. From Garrett, a little bit, but do I think that they hate each other? No. I just think that they decided to go their separate ways, Do I think that Andrew and Garrett have been seeing things about Shane for a long time, that his ego and all that? Sure, yeah. And do I think that they joked with each other about it behind the scenes? Absolutely, I do. But, let's be honest, okay? I thought that Andrew there was a little bit of ego there with Andrew too, and I like Andrew. I do. Now, I think in the Sweet Boys podcast, I think it's a completely different story. I think you get to see the real Andrew. You know what I mean? Okay, let's see. I'm gonna get one more. Okay. Opinion on clickbait. I mean, everybody does. And that's the thing. I try to, like, it's so funny, like, when I do, like, the most honest, like, titles to my videos, you know, because, like, this is the thing, okay? So, like, let's say if, like, some, like, you know, YouTuber, like, the question will be, like, top or bottom, right? Like, they'll read 15, 20 questions, right? And then they'll go, this is what they'll do. They'll go, top or bottom, flowers, I love lilies, you know? And then they'll put in the title of their video, like, I finally asked the big question, top or bottom, you know what I mean? And it's like, first of all, I don't know why anybody cares that much anyway, okay? I really don't. Like that, I mean, do you fantasize about them? Is it that you're wanting to know what they do? Somebody said it's about their role in their house. Well, I mean, then we need to talk about power bottoms. I mean, there's all kinds of things, okay? Listen, just because somebody is enjoying something doesn't mean that they like to clean the house, okay? I'm just saying, okay? I mean, that to me goes to kind of like gender labeling of the 50s. Like, really, it does, okay? Like, those questions, like, hey, I understand, okay, if you want to know if somebody's a top or a bottom. I'm not saying that I haven't ever wondered that question about somebody, but the truth of the nature is, maybe it's because I find that person attractive or whatever, you know what I mean? Like celebrities and things like that. Oh, my Lord. But anyway, you know what I mean? But those are very personal questions, you know, and I don't think that they mean anything. I don't think they show anything, you know, like, they don't identify with that. It doesn't matter, you know what I mean? Anyway, did I say that was the last question? Oh, well, here, we'll end with my favorite flower, which was actually asked by Ginger. My favorite flower is a stargazer lily. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed that video. I had a lot of fun doing this today. Little break from the main drama, but still talking a little bit about some drama. And I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.